What's up? Welcome to This Week in White Supremacy. I don't know what's going on with the sound effects.
Yeah, me neither.
Struggling over there?
Yeah, a little bit.
Struggling. We just posted all the sound. My name is Jillian Michaels. I'm co-founder and CEO of One Hood Media. Welcome to This Week in White Supremacy. If this is your first time, get ready for some news and some jokes.
We'll take it easy on you the first time. We'll make it special.
Now, again...
Here you go.
He's starting already.
Here you go.
What's that from?
I don't remember.
The Wire.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And sometimes headlines in certain stories will make me laugh. That doesn't mean that the seriousness of the story is funny. It's the headline and how we do
We have
things.
to laugh to keep from crying.
Right. Because, one of our clips keeps getting comments, and it's like, why was I laughing? And
About finding more slaves?
Yes. Which, again, to me, still to this day, is funny because of how it was written and how this man got fired. But anyway, that's just a little bit about me, but we know. We know who you're here. We know you came to see.
Yeah.
We were at Netroots. Oh, I got those questions. Where? Okay, I see you sitting there, but where is Miracle?
Are you serious?
Of course.
Oh, that's because I got sidetracked and we had to do work.
Yes.
They were like, "Where is Miracle? She needs to be working."
No, they want to know. The audience wants to know where Miracle is. Yes.
No. Anyways, what's up? What's poppin'? It's Miracle, aka your bestie, the bestest, the big blessing.
Big blessing with the big blessing.
Right.
Looking very poetic justice today.
Right. I was trying to do something different, match the hat.
Poetic justice.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. Yes.
Join the hat team.
Palestinian justice.
Oh,
yes,
instead of poetic justice.
Yeah, instead of poetic justice, Palestinian justice.
Yeah.
We all need a little bit of justice.
We all need it.
Oh, man.
Not just us.
Yeah.
Everybody needs justice. I need freedom and liberation from this pollen, from this construction.
Me too.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to breathe next week. It's just, but someone did say that they appreciate that my voice is less tonal when I'm congested. So I don't know if that's like a...
What? I said yes. No, I was saying yes because I can tell when you're congested. Like I was like listening to the show and I was like, clearly Miracle's congested. I could tell. Don't mind.
He said yes. I appreciate when you're congested.
No. I can't.
Because your voice is less tonal. It's okay. There is a study that said women's voices are more annoying because of their tone. So
interesting.
I've never heard that.
Interesting.
Yeah, but Farouk,
the tone police, huh?
Oh,
my brother.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah. We here.
Okay,
yeah,
we're here.
Tabakallah Farrakhan. You know my religion. We here. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We
both chose to wear
we
black
both,
Muslim leaders.
Come on, man.
On our shirts.
Little light brights for the light brights.
Come on, listen. My creed Islam. I believe Muhammad.
These were both light-skinned men, Miracle.
Yes, they were.
Yes, I know. I'm happy for your representation.
Yeah.
That's not why.
Miracle would love to highlight, though, that the only reason these figures rose to prominence is because they were light-skinned.
No, because this week...
Because they leaned into their blackness and they fought for their black people.
100%.
Oh, that's
also,
not... That's,
also, this past week was the birthday of Marcus Garvey.
It was.
You know what I'm saying? So let's give it up to all...
man. All the Garveyites.
All those black leaders.
Absolutely. Yeah. But, it's me, Supreme Asiatic Intelligently Divine.
Yes.
We here.
So... it's a lot of places we can start. Normally, we start with Dictator Don.
Yeah.
Distraction Don. And...
Double down on the D.
And Newsweek published an article that says Donald Trump's approval rating goes underwater on every issue. So Trump had him a week. He had his little... hosting his Alaska meeting with Vladimir Putin, where somebody on his staff left details of the meeting in a printer at the hotel,
which is crazy.
But we had the best security.
Just imagine it's just like at a Hilton Suites.
Yes, just
the Marriott Bonvoy or some shit. You got classified documents,
just in the printer. You decided to print them out that day.
That's probably the same hotel where Sarah Palin stays in to see Russia.
I forgot all about that. She was like, I live in Alaska. I can look at it. Yes. So
I mean, if you believe the Earth is flat, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, and by all accounts, Donald Trump did not show any type of strong leadership towards Vladimir Putin. No ceasefire came out of the conversation. Basically, Putin has given no concessions.
No.
Like, he's saying, this is what I want. It is what it is. So then
Putin said, Donald, who's your daddy?
yes. You know what I mean? So then, but what Putin did do, apparently, was give Donald Trump some advice.
Imagine that.
And the advice he gave Donald Trump led Donald Trump to wage his newest war, this time
On common sense?
against mail. His enemy.
The Post, not men. The Post.
Oh, no, his enemy is the mail.
Yes, the Post.
And because of this conversation with Putin, he's about to sign an executive order to stop all mail-in ballots. Can you play that clip, my brother?
Vladimir Putin said something, one of the most interesting things. He said your election was rigged because you have mail-in voting. He said mail-in voting every election. He said no country has mail-in voting. It's impossible to have mail-in voting and have honest elections. And he said that to me. It was very interesting because we talked about 2020. He said, you won that election by so much. And that's how he got it. He said, and if you would have won, we wouldn't have had a war. You'd have all these millions of people alive now instead of dead. And he said, and you lost it because of mail-in voting. It was a rigged election. But mail-in voting, Sean.
How would the leader of another country know the election results of a country he does not preside over unless he was directly involved in the voting process?
I mean, you know that what was alleged in 2016, it was alleged that he was directly involved in the voting. It was just a
like how else would I know, Jasiri, what's in your refrigerator unless I walk into your kitchen?
You know why you got sick last night?
Because you was eating
mayonnaise that you had. It's like, wait, how do you know what I had?
Don't worry about what I know, nigga. I'm just telling you what I know you was eating.
Yeah, I mean, it is fascinating, particularly because a lot of people believe that Russia was involved directly. In fact, they did a whole study on it and came to the conclusion that Russia was involved in Donald Trump's win in 2016. This is the very thing that he's trying to take Obama to jail for, or trying to prosecute Obama. But it was like last week, it said the Russian government hacked the United States federal court system. This was last week. Right? So it is, but again, imagine, imagine a Democratic president talking about the advice that Vladimir Putin, how would
makes you think that this is not a Democratic president, that this is something of a, I don't know, supreme ruler, a czar,
or even like a Russian plant, right?
Or a Russian plant.
Because
how do you water Russian plants? With information, with espionage?
I can't.
Say it.
Excuse me, what? Can you speak into the mic and stop laughing? Speak into the mic and stop laughing.
According to the dossier on Trump, that's how you water a Russian plant.
Excuse me, what?
We have to bleep that out.
I can't. No, I can't hear
Listen.
I can't hear you.
But again.
Just say it again.
But
use your words and pause.
If a Democrat was talking about, this Russian, the Russian, like you said, dictator of Russia, Putin, gave me this advice and this is what I'm going to do, he would be, remember, not American, you're not standing up for us, how dare you?
Just imagine if Joe Biden had to sit down with or any president, Hillary Clinton, Obama, had any president had to sit down with a foreign leader and said, they gave me some good advice. Here's what I'm going to do to impede the American electoral process.
Right.
Which would actually remove the ability to vote for people who are expats.
Yes. Right. People that are people that, are disabled.
Yeah.
And we got to go back. It's a lot to unpack. One, there are several countries that use mail-in voting.
Yes.
So the idea that we're the only country that uses mail-in voting, again, but
Factually
Trump is going to lie to you. I mean, if there's one thing we know, if Donald Trump's mouth is moving, he's lying, right? It says, Canada, United Kingdom, Germany, Australia, and Switzerland all use some aspect of mail-in voting.
Yes, because they also have a large majority of expatriates that live across the globe,
right,
and still vote in their electorals.
Right. So just like you said, so if you live somewhere else,
yeah,
like you have to fly in to vote.
Yeah, no.
Right. So again, this is Donald Trump seeing that all of these policies that he's doing and things he's doing are wildly unpopular. Right.
Yes.
These, Manosphere podcasters are coming out against him.
I had to look that up.
The Manosphere?
Yeah, because I didn't think that was a real word.
Yeah.
And I was very disappointed in my search results.
Yeah.
Because as Miracle says, it's always a man.
Mm-hmm. Again, yeah. So I'm coming to you, Miracle, as our the civic engagement director,
our
leader.
political North Star.
Yes.
What? I need it on a shirt.
You need that, yeah.
Right, because
Miracle
there's also
is our political North Star.
Yes. That sounds like a campaign.
Miraculous Borealis.
Sounds like a campaign. The North Star. Vote for the North Star. Miracle.
You know what? I don't know if that's necessarily the language you want to use, because isn't that what they call Lucifer?
Excuse me, what?
They call Lucifer in the Bible the Morning Star.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Morning Star.
Lucifer, son of the morning.
Yeah, the Morning Star, yeah.
You just wanted to call me a demon.
Wow.
I did not, actually. I was just trying to protect you, my black queen.
That's crazy.
Put a little bass in your voice. You try to do what?
Protect you.
Oh, as you should.
Yeah.
As you should.
So what ramifications, Miracle, does, and again, Trump is saying he's going to issue an executive order. There's going to be no more voting by mail, and then he's going to use different voting machines. How that goes.
That's not how it works. That's not how it works.
Okay. In his mind, it is.
And yes, but his mind is a little bit scrambled.
Yes.
So the federal government, through the Civil Rights Act, has some power about how elections are ran. What he's going to be able to do is say any federal monies that you want to run your elections you may only receive this money if you don't have mail-in voting or if you use these machines. What is really funny is this man is so obsessed with losing.
Yes.
Like the fact that he lost, he just cannot reconcile his mind around.
Absolutely.
And everybody's like, listen.
How long do you think it is until we get like a catchphrase from him, like, you're fired? Remember when he used to do that shit?
Yeah.
How I wonder if he's gonna do that.
He tries to do it. He has them all the time. Fake news.
Yeah,
that is right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, he's a lot.
But I'm wondering, like, is he actually gonna say you're fired or something? That would be crazy. Oh, he said it about Obama.
Yeah.
He said Obama got fired.
Yeah.
And he termed out.
Yes.
Yeah. Continue, Miracle. I'm sorry.
I mean, mail-in voting is just accessible voting.
You're right.
Yeah.
If he was to get rid of mail-in voting, I and other people have always advocated for saying that election day should be a federal holiday.
Yes.
Everybody should be off on election day, and you just go vote. Also, we should not have election day on Tuesday. We should have election day Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, like the French do.
Yeah.
People vote on the weekends. Go do your vote and go about your business.
That'd be
but
incredible.
Who knows? So let's see what happens. But I just think it's funny that and like you said, these foreign officials keep talking about this election because they know that that's what makes him so happy, and that's like his weak spot,
right?
Or his soft spot, depending on how they're trying to butter him up. And it's stupid because our elections are safe and secure. Whether you're putting in your ballot in the mail or voting in person, it's the same process. It is legit the same process.
Yes. And it was this idea where he was like, oh, sometimes households get 6 or 7. Well, if there's 6 or 7 voting age registered adults in that household, then they would logically get 6 or 7 different things because people vote individually. Mm-hmm. But you remember this whole thing where the right-wing Republicans and Pete Hegseth were talking about
a single household.
Yes,
vote.
They didn't want women to vote.
Yeah.
That the vote should be done via household, and the person in the household that should be the one determining how the household votes is the man. Commentary?
That sounds like a project that I think they were trying to create something.
Project 2025.
Something. I think, I remember reading something like that.
That project that's like damn near 60% in effect.
Yeah.
It's always some type of project that people want, but then they hate people in the projects. I never understand.
It's weird. But it's also interesting in Trump's rant on Truth Social that he says he's trying to do this by the midterm elections, right? Here's Trump realizing his policies are bad. realizing that prices are not going down, people's quality of life are not going up. Again, like federal police all over the street is not a good sign. That's a bad sign, right?
Correct.
That he says, remember, the states are merely an agent for the federal government in counting and tabulating the votes. They must do what the federal government, as represented by the President of the United States, tells them for the good of our country to do. So again, this is Trump establishing his dictatorship. Because remember, there was a time where the Republican Party was all about states' rights.
Yes.
Where the state should determine this. And the idea of the federal government
seems so long ago.
It's crazy, right? It's crazy.
We're only 8 months into the presidency.
Where were all these militias running around? That's why all these militias were running around, because they're like, the federal government is going to come and they're going to take our weapons.
Guess
in the federal
what?
Government.
They're here. They've come.
And what?
They come all over the place.
Stop.
All in your face.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Right in your face.
I just.
And they keep.
But women are the ones who should not be voting.
Right.
But women are the ones who are going to lose their right to vote as we celebrate the anniversary.
The federal government just won't stop. ICE keeps.
They won't stop because of the title.
They won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. Let's keep going. Do you see
the federal facial?
Do you see? But we're the problem. But we are the ones who shouldn't be making decisions. But we are the ones who are emotional.
But that's what I'm saying.
It's us.
Where did the militias go? Like, remember the whole NRA was like, we gotta have our guns.
Where did the militias go? They're out pulling black and brown people. They're out running.
They have badges now. The militias have badges now. It says ICE across the chest.
Crazy. No, you're 1,000
running around rampant.
1,000% right.
Breaking windows.
So again, it's like
family.
Hooligans.
So it's just again, it's like it was never about states' rights. It was never about the federal government. It was the federal government is going to come take our guns when Obama was president, right? Then there was like, oh, we got to organize our militias now, where the president is like completely enforcing white supremacy all over the place. You know what I'm saying? That's cool now.
Well, hold on, you uppity coon. White is right. Okay?
It's crazy.
This here is America.
Yes.
And whiteness is supreme.
Yes.
Okay?
Now, you said, Miracle, that he can't do this, or can he do this?
He can, but he's not going to be like, oh, you just can't tomorrow do mail-in voting, right? Because the federal government,
or 2026, like he's aiming for the midterms. Will there be a possibility that in the midterm election in 2026 we will not be able to do mail-in voting?
I think only for red states, because but I do think people are going to push back on that, because we've seen recently more Republicans actually do mail-in ballot voting than Democrats. Everybody likes to just put their stuff in the mail and go.
Right.
I mean, it is a very easy process. I mean, I actually like, going in the vote and cast a ballot. Like, I enjoy doing that.
Even when we did the early voting where we kind of like walked in. Again, it makes it easier.
It does, yeah.
A lot of times on election day, we're busy because we're trying to get other people out to vote. Mm-hmm. So for us, it does make it very convenient. And again, if you're somebody that's disabled, if you're somebody that maybe works a super busy job, it does make it easier for you to vote and participate in the process. But we all know Republicans they want the fewest amount of people to vote, not the most amount of people to vote.
And the other issue is, for certain places, the Voting Rights Act has been under attack. The John Lewis Voting Rights Act is not passed. Right. So in the South, a lot of times, people literally have to wait hours to vote, right? Yeah. So if you want
terrible conditions.
If you want to depress the black vote, and you want to make sure Republicans are winning, you get rid of mail-in voting. Yes. You make sure that people can only vote in person. Yes. And then you cut down voting precincts in black and brown neighborhoods, and you only force black and brown people to wait for hours because they're not going to be able to vote.
You try to make it as difficult as a process as possible. And again, and in the meantime, like you said, so we have, and we're seeing this federal takeover, but then by way of or by order of Donald Trump, we also see all of this political chicanery unfolding in Texas.
Yeah.
Right. Where
this is crazy.
Where you had Texas basically because Trump asked them. Trump wanted 5 more Republican seats. Trump does not want to lose control of Congress.
Right.
Because if he loses control of Congress, then he can't get out some of these. He can't.
Radical.
He can't destroy America as fast as he wants.
It might take him a little longer.
Right. He's already on pace. America might be gone in the next couple of months. Right. He's already on pace for full destruction. But if the Democrats control the Congress, he's not able to do that. So he pressured the governor of Texas. We won't say his nickname. He pressured him to
who's we
to do redistricting. And
we're not saying that he's a bad person.
Yes,
the governor of Texas. We're just saying that on certain terrains he could go very fast.
We are on one today.
And we're saying that he should probably. I'm just saying he should probably avoid banana peels.
Oh, God.
This is why y'all get so much trouble.
But it is wild. It is wild. So basically now the Democrats who had absconded, right?
Yeah.
Texas was trying to do redistricting. The Democrats left to prevent this quorum of redistricting. Gavin Newsom, who we can kind of talk about, who is now emerging now as like the number one voice kind of against Donald Trump due to some of the ways he's engaging. We can kind of talk about Gavin Newsom after this. Basically said if Texas redistricts, then California is going to redistrict and take those seats back. So then the Texas
New
Democrats
York also had proposed the same
right.
thing. Yeah.
So the Texas Democrats came back to Texas, but it was a stipulation, right? Mm-hmm. Because according to what happened with the Republican, like, they had to sign some form that would be where they would be placed under the watch of the Department of Public Safety.
Yeah.
Right. Because they left before. So in order to leave the state house in Texas, the Democrats had to sign this form agreeing to be placed under watch. Again, this sounds
insane. This is.
And it sounds like again, malicious. Where are y'all at?
Yeah.
Because this sounds crazy.
Seizing control of electoral elected
if it was in reverse and it was Democrats asking these Texans to be placed under watch, they would be going crazy.
Absolutely.
Right? But it's not, right? This is white supremacy asking a black woman. And shout out to State Representative Nicole Collier, who refused to sign it. Mm-hmm. And because she refused to sign it, she's still at the Capitol right now.
Yeah.
They refused to allow her to leave the Capitol until she agreed to be like these aren't grown up adult people to be placed under watch. Apparently now people are mobilizing outside of the Texas State House. Miracle.
Before Miracle goes, if you don't mind, I just thought that a few short months ago, there was a bipartisan call to end political violence.
Yes.
That had no place in today. Yes. Is this not political violence? Taking elected officials hostage, holding them essentially for ransom.
Yeah, kidnapping.
Under duress.
Yeah. Under duress, yeah. Is that not violent? I'm sorry. Maybe I'm remiss.
It is, and particularly remember it was all of that don't tread on me. Hey, where's the don't tread on me crowd, right?
They getting their backs broke in right now, bruv. Yeah, you know what?
The federal government, they're getting that federal fish.
Taking a patriotic. Red, white, and bondage.
Will YouTube allow? So it says
the electoral gynecology.
It says the majority of Democrats complied with the law enforcement escort. Okay, it says a majority of the Democrats.
Coming forth to carry me home.
It says the majority of the Democrats, the Texas Democrats, complied with the law enforcement escort, showing reporters what they call permission slips they received to leave the House floor and pointing to officers escorting them around. But again, as black people, having officers escort us is very different. Right.
Yeah.
And takes on a much different connotation. Whether it's historically or currently, right? Whether it's talking about police brutality or the idea that we're not free people and we can't move about freely. So again, shout out to Nikki Collier, who refused to enter that agreement. And because of her refusal, she's been confined to the House floor. She can only leave the floor to return to her office under the watch of law enforcement officer, an aide said, and cannot leave the state capitol unless she agrees to outside supervision. Miracle, what in the hell is going on?
This is why we tell you never consent to police searches.
Yes.
Never talk to the popo.
Yes.
This is why. Once you consent, your argument to say this is a violation of my rights, even if it's a legal violation of your rights, your ability to fight back against that injustice significantly decreases. So you have to do what she is doing and basically refuse to comply.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely ridiculous that in 2025 you're literally you're essentially kidnapping, holding someone hostage almost, right? Because you're not moving her from place to place. Because you want to make sure you can pass a vote to change the will of the people and to change the people's ability to be heard. Makes absolutely no sense, but I do think that what people are saying is this means that Democrats have to put on their boots and get to knock on every door, talk to every voter, and basically say, like, we are going to have to do the biggest, most robust voter engagement, voter outreach, voter contact, because it's absolute fascism and white supremacy to kidnap people, to put them under police surveillance just to ensure they show up for a vote, which I hope they don't show up tomorrow. I hope they don't show up. I hope they go home, lock them and the police officers, just lock their doors and just be out there.
Absolutely.
So, Nicole Collier recorded a message, and basically, she had a quote. She said, "My constituents sent me to Austin to protect their voices and rights. I refuse to sign away my dignity as a duly elected representative just so Republicans can control my movements and monitor me with police escorts." Do you want to play that clip from Nicole Collier?
The speaker announced, once quorum was restored, that the call of the House would remain, and any member that was out because of the quorum break would be required to sign a permission slip agreeing to be under the authority of DPS in order to leave the Capitol. I refused. I refused to sign the permission slip to be able to leave the Capitol. I disagree with that authoritarian tactic that they have taken. As being part of the minority party, we don't have a lot of victories, but we do have our principles. We still have our dignity, and we still have the right to protest and resist. I will have to stay here. I hadn't really given much thought. What matters to me is making sure that I resist and fight back against and push back. I'm sure I'll fall asleep eventually, whether that's in my chair or on the floor. I'm sure I will get some rest, but I'm so appreciative of my Democratic colleagues because they've been bringing me refreshments and encouraging me. In fact, I've asked the chair of the House Democratic Caucus, and he has joined me in a sign of unity and to resist this power, authority, control over us and what we're trying to do.
Shout out to her for standing up. And so how does this end, Miracle? I mean, does she just stay there? Like,
pretty much.
Do we
I'm not
see?
going.
Yeah.
She said, Wolf of Wall Street, I'm not leaving. And so yeah, that's pretty much. Unless someone frees her, she has to stay.
Come
there.
on now. But it is, again, it's interesting because basically, like, again, to say to us that I cannot leave freely on my own will, but I have to have some law enforcement person with me watching me, again, is akin to the history of slavery. And kind of ironic, like we're watching basically this black woman, like you said, being kidnapped, being held against her will, being denied freedom and liberation right in front of our eyes, while comments made on CNN by a fitness influencer. Why a fitness influencer is on CNN to discuss politics?
That's how far we've come as a society, to where now the people who have the least education,
yes,
the least credentials, the least qualified people,
yes,
to speak on issues of pertinence, now have the largest platform.
Well, and
this is where we are,
and it's this whole thing too, where it's
we should bring back shaming stupid people.
I mean, again, it's like
normalize that.
We want. It's hard because we're in this social media ecosystem where it's about clicks, right?
Yeah.
So you want somebody on there to say the most ridiculous. It's like, who's willing to really operate from a place of no shame? Because according to what they're saying, I don't know if this is facts or not. They're actually saying that this woman has a black child.
Jillian Michaels?
Yes.
She does.
Right. So
yeah,
again, so this is a woman that, again, this is how shameless this person is. That you actually are raising a black child, but you want to use your platform and your celebrity, definitely not your intellect, to espouse white supremacist ideas and ideology that's going to make it harder for your own child to exist.
I believe she adopted this child.
Well, however,
this is why I don't agree with.
Yeah. Again, right. But she probably wanted to.
Angelina Jolie.
Obviously, she has
I'm not.
She doesn't mind slavery. She's like, I'm gonna get me a little black child.
That's exactly what it is
raise,
to me.
And
that's exactly what it gives to me.
It's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
So she went on CNN to defend slavery. Well, really. So again. Here's Donald Trump.
Not defend slavery, so to speak. Explain it and rationalize it.
Yes.
For other white people to not feel so ashamed.
Right.
Because white bad.
Yes. And so for the context, this is Donald Trump again. Dictator Don saying these things in these museums I don't like have to be removed, right?
Which is crazy.
The museum exhibit that talked about presidents that were impeached.
Yeah.
He had his name removed, even though he's a president that was impeached. Right. So facts don't matter. Truth doesn't matter. So he wants the woke ideology taken out of the museums. And so she's agreeing with him and saying, oh, this is why museums like the Smithsonian shouldn't exist, because they make slavery all the white person's fault. Can we play that clip, sir?
I mean,
It was a bad thing that was to talk about. Okay, like he's not whitewashing slavery. So he's not. He's not. No. Okay. He's not. And you cannot tie imperialism and racism and slavery to just one race, which is pretty much what every single exhibit does. But let's talk about the fact that when you can't tie slavery, let's talk about the fact that
slavery in America was.
Do you realize that only less than 2% of white Americans owned slaves?
But it was a system of white supremacy.
You realize that slavery is thousands of years old?
White people were
do you know who
in
was the first race to try to end slavery? Well, what's controversial?
I'm very surprised.
This is an extraordinary as an historical revisionism.
I'm really surprised.
Do you realize that,
Jillian, I'm surprised that you're trying to litigate who was the beneficiary of slavery and who was not.
What I'm trying to tell you is that
in the context of American history. Okay. In the context of American history, what are you saying is incorrect by saying that it was white people oppressing black people?
Every single thing is like, oh, no, this is all because white people bad. And that's just not the truth. Like, for example, every single exhibit, I have a list of every single one.
We can pause it. We can pause it. I mean,
there's so many things inherently problematic and incorrect with that. What do you want to call it? A blurb, an expulsion of ignorance?
Yes.
I don't know.
Well, I think it starts, like you said, it starts with like somebody who's not a historian.
Yeah, someone who's not a historian.
Who's not educated, just spewing some shit that they saw on TikTok or Twitter with absolutely no context.
Yeah. And not only does it send an incorrect message, to just be that loud and wrong in a public forum is something that, you know, now is
accepted.
It not only is accepted, it's glamorized.
It's the way to get like famous, because then she can go and speak at all of the right wing Republican.
Of course, she just bought herself like a meal ticket,
right,
in perpetuity.
Yes,
she's gonna be good, and then
particularly now that like Candace Owens is being sued to the point where she can't afford.
I said, what did Candace Owens say something? Yeah, what's happening?
She can't afford. She's trying to, like, they said she's trying to sell T-shirts because she can't afford. Like, this lawsuit is going to bankrupt her. So now it's a spot open. It's a spot open,
Candace, right? You know, if only you had that money that your family got from the discrimination lawsuit banked up, maybe you wouldn't be in this situation, baby. And again, I don't know. But hey, Candace, God is good all the time. And all the time.
But she doesn't know that.
She doesn't.
So again, I mean, it is that piece around not only like platforming willful ignorance, but allowing people who are but Jillian is a byproduct of Donald Trump. She like Donald Trump is not intelligent. He just lies, and it's like and his followers believe those lies because those lies make them feel good and better about herself. So this lie that like, oh, so she's going there again as a white woman who has a black child, and she's not saying, wow, look at what happened look at what my ancestors did historically. How can I as a human being in 2025 rectify some of these things, right? How can I show up in 2025 as a better human being and make sure I'm treating everybody around me equitably, lovingly, supportively, right? No, you look at that and say, oh, I feel bad because I'm white. And so therefore, oh, I know my grandparents weren't bad and their grandparents weren't bad. So now you're trying to make excuses for what happened previously, and because you don't want to be held responsible. And there's a whole piece around you, like your celebrity being based upon or inside of this thing called white supremacy, but you don't want to attribute it to that. You want to attribute it to your own skill and intelligence and all of that. It was just a clip that went out that somebody again, they've done this study before, but recently did a study. And they said they set up like two white guys and two black people. And they had them do all of these employment stuff.
Oh, right? Yeah, that happens all the time. Yeah.
The one white guy was just a regular white guy. The white guy and the one black guy, same qualifications. One white guy had a felony and a black guy had a felony. The white guy with a felony got called back more than the black person with the same qualifications. Mm-hmm. So again, this is the scope and what we're dealing with. But instead of acknowledging that and saying, how do we dismantle that? You want to justify a system where you benefit from. Miracle, did you have any thoughts on slavery? We're arguing, we're debating slavery in 2025. How bad slavery was in 2025.
They had food. They had places to sleep.
So Jillian Michaels' whole entire platform is based on white supremacy, based upon this idea that her whole fitness regimen was always about making people fit this white supremacist aesthetic of what it means to be healthy and what does it mean to be a part of society. So for this woman who I think maybe like a lesbian woman who has a black child, her whole entire aesthetic is wrapped in this. I believe she is. She may not be, but I believe she is.
Yeah, I did not know that. Okay.
Wrapped in this violent rhetoric. And she has been called out for years.
Oh, yeah,
for abusing people, for traumatizing some of the contestants, who were on The Biggest Loser,
Right.
and just the way that whole course and platform
takes on a whole different connotation now. The title of her show,
right? And so for her to get there and be like, "Oh, all of these programs are about white supremacy," well, guess what, beloved? That's what imperialism was. It was white supremacy. Whether it was Cuba, whether it was Mexico, whether it was the Philippines, whether it was Manifest Destiny, the whole format of the United States was white supremacy. And that's not me talking. That's Supreme Court Justice Robert Taney talking, and talking about how black people would never be Americans and could never be Americans because it was only white people who were supposed to be in the fabric of this society. So when you have a political system that has white supremacy as its ideology and it's starting to work and network with other countries, what does that mean? It means they're going to be leading with white supremacy.
Right.
So for you to get upset, well, maybe if the Cubans at the time weren't hating black people in Cuba, and maybe if they were trying to not stop black people from having equal rights, maybe the Cuban Revolution wouldn't have been the same. I don't know. Maybe that's me. Maybe, if the United States, like, you know what, black people, we're going to stop discriminating against you. We're going to say, sorry, red lighting was an accident. We didn't mean, the impact, and fix it and address it and be accountable. Maybe we won't be talking about white supremacy in 2025. But here we are.
Yeah.
And there is no way in the world that you're going to be able to talk about the history of America in the past 250 years without talking about racism, without talking about slavery, because it's in the documents.
It's in the documents.
Literally in the Supreme Court decision.
Right there.
Black and white.
Right there for you to see.
It's a mess.
It says in 2016, Michaels labeled President-elect Donald Trump's running mate, Mike Pence, the number one anti-gay politician in the country right now. In 2024, Michaels frequently expressed support for Robert Kennedy Jr. on his presidential campaign.
Of course she did.
Praising his views on chronic health. Again, in a reversal to her prior comments regarding Trump, Michaels announced she had voted for him in the 2024 election. I'm sure that had nothing to do, with white supremacy or anything. It was a number of responses to her selective quote of only 2%, quote unquote,
right, which is just
of white people in the country own slaves.
No, go ahead.
But there was a strong commentary rebuttal, by
From
Nicole Hannah-Jones.
Sister,
yes,
the brilliant,
an actual journalist,
and not just that, an actual historian,
who wrote the 1619 Project.
But with today, that's subjective alternative history.
Of course. Again, we're at a place where, remember, we're at a place where a congressman was criticized for being a professor. Yeah. That was the critique of him. That smart ass professor wants to tell you what to do. We're in this anti-intellectualism place because, again, to have somebody come onto the TV show and teach you actual history isn't going to get clicks and likes, right? It doesn't get we want to have these debates and we want to be yelling at each other.
Man.
Hey, bro, they don't want you to learn. They don't want you to know. They're going after the textbooks. All of this, they don't want you to know. But can you play Nicole Hannah-Jones? And it's a longer. We're just going to play a short clip of her rebuttal against this
nonsense.
The Biggest Loser.
Yeah, well done.
These videos, but as a creator of the 1619 Project and someone who has studied the history of slavery for 3 decades, I could not let that viral CNN clip of Jillian Michaels stand. I have to first state that the times are far too serious and dangerous for us to lend our platforms to harmful nonsense. It's simply irresponsible, with everything that's happening in this country, to have someone as credentialless as Jillian Michaels on a major network show legitimizing the erasure of our history.
Credentialless.
Now, I know there have been some viral efforts to debunk her claim that somehow slavery was a side institution in the United States because less than 2% of white people own slaves. But even those efforts, while valiant, by embracing this right-wing framing, they still aren't really getting to it. You see, this is how numbers and data, though technically true, can also be lies. And this is why we can't let bad faith actors set the parameters of the debate or of our collective understanding. So please bear with me because this is a lot. Let's take the fewer than 2% of white people own slaves at face value, though we know that number is technically incorrect. And let's apply that standard to any other industry. What percentage of Americans own social media companies or technology companies such as Apple? It's a tiny percentage. I'm doubtful if it's even 1% of Americans. And yet no one would credibly argue that social media companies are not ubiquitous across American life, that they don't play a major influence on our political, social, and economic life in America. And in fact, what we know is that more than 70% of Americans use social media, though hardly any Americans own social media platform. There's a reason that the heads of Meta, Apple, and Amazon, Google, and X all took part in Trump's inauguration festivities, with several of them standing on the actual dais during Trump's inauguration. These men also happen to be amongst the wealthiest in the world and demonstrate how a small cadre of super wealthy men can have an outsized impact on American politics and culture. This is just critical thinking, y'all. So, if we want to play the numbers game, the much more important measure is what percentage of Americans own slaves? No. But what percentage of those empowered did?
Come on.
So here we go.
Follow Nicole Hannah-Jones if you want the whole entire clip. Credentialless to me was the piece, right? Because again, when you and CNN and these companies know what they're doing, right? They know when you sit somebody in that chair, the idea is that person got in that chair because they know what they're talking about,
right?
And
I mean,
clearly
at one point
that
used to be the expectation,
right? It would be some vetting process,
right? And
in that vetting process, it's like, okay, these are people intelligent enough to respond to this type of whatever the text of the day or the conversation of the day is. Now that's not how it is, and yeah, it's bad. We had mentioned Gavin Newsom, and Gavin Newsom is somebody who
eyeing the White House.
Yeah, we knew he was. He's been eyeing the White House, right? But he's somebody that has kind of placed himself media wise, he's almost like having a media battle with Donald Trump, right?
Yeah.
He called the press conference saying that, on the policy side, if Texas does their redistricting, California's going to do his. And then Trump sent the Border Patrol to the press conference, which was a wild thing to see.
Yeah.
But he started this, Twitter feed called Governor Newsom's Press Office. And this Twitter feed is a mocking of Donald Trump's feed. Donald Trump's real feed. So Donald Trump, late at night, all caps, doing all of this crazy talking.
Kaveffi.
Yes. This is something that is, he's mocking it. Here's an example from Governor Newsom's press office. When Speaker Little Man Johnson is standing in the unemployment line, he can thank Donald Taco J. Trump, all caps. Trump missed a simple deadline, something he has done with many of his failed businesses. Now California will fire him with new, more beautiful maps, highly anticipated. Historic press conference with your favorite governor, Gavin Christopher Newsom. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Not even JD Just Dance Vans can save Trump from the disastrous maps war he has started. Not even his eyeliner lines look as pretty as California's map lines. He will fail, as he always does. Sad. And I, the peacetime governor, our nation's favorite, will save America once again. Many are calling me Gavin Christopher Columbus Newsom because of the maps. Thank you for your attention to this matter, GNC. So again, and it's funny because this is bothering Republicans are mad about this. Apparently, Donald Trump has stopped using all caps because of this mocking.
We're not going to get any more Trumpisms?
And it says Gavin Newsom surges in the 2028 president poll. Miracle, is this the way...
Justice for Tim Walz. Justice for Tim Walz. They are weird. He tried to do this, and everybody made him stop. And now it's like, oh my gosh, look at Gavin. He's so amazing. He's trolling back. What? I'm tired. I am tired.
But is trolling. Is shit that again because we talk about it and you talk about Democrats putting on their big boy panties, putting their boots on, and so is this part of that strategy in your mind?
Yes and no. Yes, it is part of the strategy for like the media clicks and engagement and to show you're doing something. No, because there's still no policies.
Right.
And my favorite part of the show. And say that because, Gavin Newsom was someone who stopped, caps on insulin.
Yes.
Who was out here raiding homeless encampments. Why are people mad right now? Because Trump is out here raiding homeless encampments, is out here deploying the National Guard, right? So it's like, yes, in theory, you want Democrats to do something, but also in actuality, you want Democrats to have good policies and not to replicate what Trump is doing. Because like I said, just for Tim Walz was out, I always mispronounce that man's name, was also bringing in, let the National Guard come into Minneapolis when people were out here, protesting, and fighting for the end to police and state violence. So it's just bad. Like all of these politicians are bad. And it's kind of how Jabal Bowman was saying, like at some point you feel like all this is theater. There's a good guy, there's a bad guy. It's act 1. Act 2, the good guy is going to come in and stop the bad guy, but then turn around and be friends with the bad guy. And it's just like, at the end of the day, people just want to be able to buy groceries. A report came out and said Pennsylvania has some of the highest grocery costs in the nation. People just want to be able to afford groceries, hang out with their friends, go outside, have a good time, and not have to worry about getting shot, arrested, or detained by ICE. And still, Democrats are able to do anything because at the end of the day, the Texas Democrats, why were they even in Texas? They were supposed to be in Chicago. It's like, why in the world do y'all keep becoming complicit?
Right.
Why in the world do you let these people play in your faces? Just don't show up.
Now, there was this conversation, and I specifically wanted to ask, and I mentioned it to Farouk. He had some thoughts as well. It was an activist from DC named Afeni.
Yes.
She goes under the on Instagram Facts and Fire. She was arrested for she was actually there recording police as they were harassing young people in the subway. She was pepper sprayed and arrested, and one of the responses to her arrest was
a lie, but go.
Oh, it was okay. I don't know.
No, the response was a lie.
I didn't even know that.
I think where you're going.
But one of the responses was she encouraged people not to vote for Kamala Harris, and because of that, it's like you encourage people not to vote for Kamala Harris because you did that. Like you helped create the situation.
That's a lie. That's
we're in now, and therefore. You should be, I guess, and that's been some of the conversation.
So the police were not arresting people during the Biden administration. The police were not pepper spraying protesters during the Biden administration. The police were not running
Ferguson
through
happened under Obama.
beating people. That is the problem, and that's what grinds my gears more than anything else. Because you will never hear me say, if you vote for this politician, police violence will not happen. You will never ever hear me say, if you vote for this politician, all of this will be different.
Right.
Because that is a lie. And the reason we know that is people were getting their asses beat under Biden's administration, and Harris was not stopping it.
Right.
At the end of the
people
day,
were actually being bombed and
correct.
murdered
but
in Gaza.
When think about DC, DC passed a crime reform bill a few years ago, and it was Democrat senators who also led the charge to basically usurp the power of the people in DC and stop when people in DC will say, we're voting because we don't want our kids incarcerated, we're voting because we don't want these crimes to be felonies, we're voting because we want marijuana to be legalized. It was Democrats, senators, including our own Senator Bob Casey, who voted against the will of the people and took over. And so when we're sitting there talking about, well, you would not be arrested if you voted for Harris, it's a fucking lie. And it makes me angry.
Well,
because
not that. I don't think people were saying
that's what they are saying. It's the
people
same
would be
system.
arrested. It was saying like
it's
it
the
wouldn't
same
be the
process.
I think people were saying
it wouldn't be ICE. It would be the DC police. That it's still an arrest.
Right. Yes.
It's still pepper spray. It's still police and state violence.
Yes.
And if you are someone who actually wants to work and move against police and state violence, that bullshit would have never came out of your mouth. Because at the end of the day, you know, it's not the politicians that are going to change the policies. It is the people. It is the people on the street, the people who are organizing, the people who are fighting, the people who are mobilizing. Because Afeni wasn't just showing up because she wanted to get arrested. She was showing up because that is what she does. Because for the past
she's been showing up. Yeah.
For the past 3 years, because of this administration, when police go out to harass black kids, we literally have a response unit all across the United States where when we get a call, we go out and respond. We go out and record. We go out and make sure these kids know that they are not alone. And that is what she was doing. And so for anyone, especially another fucking black man, to go on social media and to sit there and say, well, this is the violence you wanted. No, bitch. What the violence we wanted wasn't for it to stop. What we wanted was for people to stop dropping bombs and for police to stop arresting and harassing people. And we did not get that because it's not in the Democratic Party's own policies. They're not even fighting for that. It was Biden who said, you know what? Take your COVID money and hire more police.
Sure.
So don't sit there and say that not voting for Kamala Harris is the reason someone's gotten arrested. When at the end of the day, when whoever you vote for, police and state violence will still be there because bitch ass niggas like you would never sit there advocate for people to stop investing in police, to start investing in community. And that's why I honestly believe that some of y'all today would willingly be slaves, not saying Kanye was right, but would willingly be slaves if you thought that would get you an invite to party in the White House as long as some other black person in the elsewhere would still be harmed. Because how in the world could you get there and sit there and be like, oh, you deserve to be arrested? How dare you as a black person tell another black person they deserve to be arrested? When we talk about election have consequences, if Afeni had voted for Harris, she still would not have been elected. If all the people who said they were not going to vote for Harris because of her policies voted for her, she still would have lost. That's how much the divide was in the vote. So when people say, had you changed your policies, what that means is the DNC, who blacklisted Muslim organizations, union organizations, youth organizations for calling for a ceasefire, they would have been able to knock doors because they wouldn't have been blacklisted. Because when Muslims were told, do not take a picture with Harris, our donors don't want that, that wouldn't have been the case. Everybody would have come together and been mobilizing, and the same group of people that worked for Biden would have also then been working for Harris. So y'all need to think before you speak, because how dare you sit there in 2025, take up and take the side of the police who at the end of the day were harassing black kids? So angry, so mad.
Glad I asked you the question. I'm glad I brought that topic up. I love how you talk directly into the camera too. I love how you talk directly to whoever that was on Twitter.
Talk to them niggas, man.
And shout out to Afeni. I met her in New Orleans at Netroots. And she wasn't in my algorithm. I didn't know about, the fierceness that she approaches these issues with in our community, and the great work that she's doing. So definitely shout out to her as well.
The question I've been pondering since this happened, right, and since I've seen this make rounds on social media over the weekend, yes, the everything miracle is saying, but I specifically want to ask a question based upon a highlight that you made. And this is I'm talking to the camera, I'm talking to black conservatives.
Yes.
At this juncture where we are right now, what part of your everyday life, your quality of life has been improved when every single piece of legislation, of rhetoric, of propaganda, of efforts concerted has been made against erasing you from American history? And not just history as it happened, present and in future. Right. Nothing here is designed to protect you. There's nothing coming out of the White House. And so my question is, why do you still adhere or sticking to your guns? Why are you still 10 toes and standing on business and trying to protect and laud and defend something that does not see you in the future of its existence? I seriously want to know. And one thing that I just consistently come back to is I've talked about him on the show before, and I've talked to you lot about him. The one brother I was locked up with, who was just like this mindless black Trumper. And I just don't understand. Like, you have black children, you have black family, you have a black brother, you have a black niece and nephew. Like, what are you doing that you feel is protecting your family legacy by aligning with these alt-right viewpoints? I mean, I just really don't get it. Is it that much self-hatred that just permeated your existence to where you can't see anything else? I don't know.
I think it's that, and it's that miracle point, like, because the one thing that has changed is they have like access. But
some of these people don't even get the access.
Right.
They really don't.
People just want to be in the room where it happens. And
Yes.
I had this conversation with someone.
Because they don't get power and they don't get money.
No, they don't.
This is what I'll say. I don't think black people have the requisite training of what to do when they get in rooms and halls of power. I think a lot of times people just see pictures of like black people.
That's true.
And do not understand that when you're in those rooms, you're supposed to advocate and fight for things. Because somebody was talking, and they're like, "Oh, you're just mad that you may not get invited to." I was like, "Do y'all understand?
We get invited to all kinds of shit.
I turned down the invites to the White House. Like
I didn't make it past the Benny.
Oh, I pick and choose where I want to go and why, because I understand the ways in which I can and cannot show up.
Right.
And I feel that if I show up, I'm going to be a distraction. I don't go.
Right.
If I feel I'm going to show up, I'm going to be able to engage and to network and to have a conversation, I'm going to show up.
Right.
And I also push other people. And I said, when you go into the room, your goal is to make sure you're even if you're the first, you're not the only. Your goal is to talk about the policies and the issues. I have been in rooms where it's nothing but me and a bunch of conservative white men, and I'm talking about Islamophobia. I'm talking about police violence. I'm talking about state violence. I'm there, right? Because I understand that even if I'm in this room only one chance, that one chance is all I'm going to have to make a difference in somebody's life. A lot of other people just want to be in the room, so they'll sell their souls, they'll sell their children, they'll be quiet, they'll just be cautious, and at the end of the day, they get to have a selfie to put on social media. And I feel that our people do not have the knowledge and expertise and know-how of what to do and how to lobby and how to engage. And so when they get into these rooms, a lot of times people will play in their faces.
Yeah.
And I had, when I was in the union, I went to this meeting, and the guy, he was a congressperson, and he said, you go in your room, he said, after you introduce yourself, as soon as you introduce yourself, you should tell why you're here and what you are looking for in your introduction.
Right.
I shouldn't have to wait to the end of the meeting for them to ask. Start off. You're here for a reason. Tell me why, and we can move from there.
And one of the great ways to learn is to read Jillian Michaels. Maybe this white pages is for you and others. This is James Baldwin, one of our greatest authors. This is a book called One Day When I Was Lost, a scenario based on Alex Haley's autobiography of Malcolm X. Sharp, precise, there's no questioning the depth and sincerity of Baldwin's admiration for Malcolm X. James Baldwin, One Day When I Was Lost. It's reading that can give you the knowledge and understanding that can help us become more powerful. With that being said,
and if you can't read, you can go to your local library,
yes,
get a library card, and you have audiobooks.
Audiobooks, yes. So Farouk, you can get an audiobook. So we have Fridays on Deck this week.
Yeah.
Back at Liberty Green. We were there last week. It was dope.
Very dope.
Something interesting happened while we were there, but again, police rolled up on us.
Yeah.
Well, we weren't doing nothing, but that's, we handled it and kind of moved on from there. Anything we have, obviously, like an event taking place by the time this airs, that event would have taken place. But shout out to Ethan, who's organizing Queer Quarterly Surviving Academia Edition. Do we have anything else on the agenda?
We got Fridays on Deck on Friday.
Yes.
We're tabling on Saturday.
At Building Bridges. Shout out to Ebda Hall. Yes.
Also Saturday is a lot of stuff happening. Also on Saturday is the Black Men's Mental Health Wellness Day at Westing House, starting a little early, a little 7 a.m. to go do your 5K, get your blood pressure. You know, health and wellness. Apparently, early to bed, early to whatever that thing is.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm not a man, so I don't know it. So out there, there's a lot of protests happening on Friday and on Saturday in regards to ICE engagement. Yes. Every day at 5 p.m. here in Pittsburgh, people are taking to the streets and rallying. So a lot of stuff is happening.
Yes.
But yeah, so just show up, show out, and
handle your business. Anything going on in your world, Farouk?
Not really.
Are you dropping that video? Streams up on your project?
Yeah. The video will be out soon time. We're gonna do something.
Are you in the video?
I'm not.
Me neither.
Just
why would you be in the video?
Why?
We didn't get into that room, Miracle. We didn't.
Some rooms are not open to us
into that room.
It's okay. One of these days we'll be in a Farouk Al Saeed.
Yes, and the title of it is
the video or the
album.
The project is Don't worry, that's part of the furniture.
Don't worry, that's part of the furniture.
All DSPs.
When is the video dropping?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
Yeah, video for Still Pray For You will be dropping soon time.
Keep on the lookout. With that being said,
downvote it whenever it comes out and be like, where is Miracle in the comments?
Wow.
Where is Miracle?
It's still engagement.
Where is Miracle?
It's still engagement. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Until next time, peace. One hood, y'all.